Hello everyone, this is Megha Chauhan, lecturer English at Government Senior Secondary School Salwana, District Mandi. So students, till now we have already completed three parts of your chapter Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. And now we will proceed with part 4. In this chapter, we have found how Ernest Chung has tried to highlight the plight of life of poor people and the children who are exploited either by their uneducated, poor and helpless parents and the society who employ them as child laborers. The chapter Lost Spring is divided into two parts. The first part is Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage. And who said this? Yes, Sahib said this, who was the main character of our first part, Sahib the poor rag picker. And the second part that we are going to do is I want to drive a car, and it's said by Mukesh, जिनके बारे में हम अब पढ़ने वाले हैं. But before that, let's discuss some of the new words and phrases that this part contains. And the first in the list is looking straight into my eyes. It means to talk to someone with confidence and determination. Looms like a mirage. Mirage का मतलब होता है मृग तृष्णा, मतलब किसी चीज का धोखा होना कि हाँ ये मुझे दिख रहा है, नजर आ रही है. तो इसका मतलब होता है कि ऐसा लगना कि फ्यूचर में ये सब कुछ सही हो जाएगा, पर एक्चुअली इट विल नॉट बी सो. Amidst means in the middle of. Glass blowing industry related to making glass. Furnaces का मतलब होता है हिंदी में भट्टी, a closed room or container where heat is produced. Then welding, the process of joining metal or glass pieces by heating them. ये तो आपने देखा ही होगा welding होते हुए. Then withdraws means goes back. Veil का मतलब होता है पर्दा या घूंघट. A piece of the fine material worn by women to protect or hide the face, cover or hide. Impoverished, very poor. Labor, hard work and renovate, repair. Dingy, dark, dim. Slog, work hard. Daylight hours, hours of the day when there is sunlight. Brightness of the eyes. Here refers to the power to see. Then beam, shine brightly. Volunteer मतलब स्वयं सेवी. Freely offers to do something. Stinking, bad smell. Chalked, blocked. Hovels, slumps. Crumbling, falling down. Wobbly, unsteady, जिसे ढंग से खड़ा ना हुआ जा सके. Coexisting, present at the same time and place. Primeval, prehistoric. Banks, hits. Then shack, a roughly built hut, thatched, covered with dry grass. Vessel, container for cooking food. Bartan, sizzling, making a hissing sound when frying or cooking. तो ये थे हमारे word meaning. Now let's talk about the part second. I want to drive a car. This is Mukesh. And
I will be a motor mechanic. I will learn to drive a car.
He answers, looking straight into my eyes. His dreams looms like a mirage amidst the dust of streets that fill his town Firozabad, famous for its bangles. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. It's the center of India's glass blowing industry, where family have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glass, making bangles for all the women in the land, it seems. तो हम देखते हैं कि जो मुकेश था, हिज ड्रीम वॉज टू बिकम अ मोटर मैकेनिक, जबकि वो एक ऐसी फैमिली से बिलोंग करता था जो बैंगल मेकर्स थी, एंड ही बिलोंग्स टू फिरोजाबाद. Firozabad is a famous town known for its glass bangles industries, and every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. And it's the center of India's glass blowing industries. जहाँ पर जो परिवार थे, ज़्यादातर परिवार वो बैंगल मेकिंग का ही काम करते थे, और सालों से वो बैंगल बनाने का काम, भट्टी पर इन्हें तपाने का काम और वेल्डिंग का काम किया करते थे. Families here have spent generations in making bangles. About 20,000 children work in the glass furnaces of Firozabad. They have to work in very unhealthy conditions, and their parents don't know that it's illegal to make children work in such places. एंड द चिल्ड्रन वर्क इन डिंगी सेल्स, जहाँ ना तो प्रॉपर वेंटिलेशन होती है ना ही प्रॉपर लाइट होती है। तो वो वहाँ पर हाई टेम्परेचर में दिन भर काम करते रहते हैं एंड ऑफन लॉसिंग द ब्राइटनेस ऑफ देयर आईज, और कभी कभी उनके आंखों की रोशनी भी कम हो जाती है या बिल्कुल ही चली जाती है। Mukesh's eyes beam as he volunteers to take me home, which he proudly says is being rebuilt. So Mukesh was happy as he took the writer to his home. तो जो मुकेश है वो काफ़ी प्राउड फील करता है जब वो राइटर को बताता है कि उसके घर को फिर से रेनोवेट किया जा रहा है। दे वॉक डाउन स्ट्रीट्स विच वर फुल ऑफ गार्बेज एंड गेव फाउल स्मेल, तो काफ़ी डर्टी स्ट्रीट से होकर वो गुजरते हैं। द वॉल्स वर फॉलिंग अपार्ट देयर, द डोर्स वर अनस्टेडी, देयर वर नो विंडोज एंड वर फुल ऑफ फैमिलीज वेयर पीपल लिव्ड along with animals. They reminded the writer of the prehistoric man who lived just like animals. Mukesh stopped in front of one such door, hit it hard with his foot, and pushed it open. तो अब वो हाउस जहाँ मुकेश रहता था, इट वॉज पार्शली कंस्ट्रक्टेड हट, पूरी तरीके से ये बना नहीं था। इन वन कॉर्नर वॉज अ फायरवुड स्टोव मेड विद डेड ग्रास, अ वेसल विद स्पिनच लीव्स वॉज kept on it, and on the ground there were more plates with chopped vegetables in them. There was a thin young woman cooking the evening meal for the family. Her eyes were full of the smoke, and but she was still cheerful and smiled to see the author. She was the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Although she was not much older than Mukesh, she was a responsible person and was worthy to get respect from the family as the daughter in law of the family. She took care of three men, her husband, Mukesh, and their father. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil closer to her face, as custom demands. Daughters in law must veil their faces before male elders. That was a tradition. फैमिली के बड़े बुजुर्गों के सामने औरतें अक्सर अपना चेहरा पर्दे में छुपाया करती थी। The elder here was a poor bangle maker. He had worked hard all his life, first as a tailor, then as a bangle maker. He was still not able to either renovate the house or send his sons to school. He had just managed to teach him the skill of making bangles. हालांकि उस ओल्डर मैन ने अपनी लाइफ में काफ़ी स्ट्रगल किया था। पहले वो टेलर थे, बाद में बैंगल मेकर बने, बट स्टिल ही फेल्ड टू रेनोवेट हिज हाउस। अपना घर भी ना बना सके, ना ही वो अपने दो लड़कों को स्कूल भेज सके। All he has managed to do is to teach them what he knows, the art of making bangles. एंड here वी complete पार्ट 4। तो हमने देखा कि ऑथर फिरोजाबाद शहर जाती है जो कि यूपी में है एंड इट्स फेमस फॉर इट्स बैंगल मेकिंग इंडस्ट्री। ऑलमोस्ट एवरी अदर फैमिली इन फिरोजाबाद इज एंगेज्ड इन मेकिंग ग्लास बैंगल्स फॉर वीमेन ऑल ओवर इंडिया। और ऐसी ही एक फैमिली है मुकेश की। मुकेश फैमिली वॉज एंगेज्ड इन मेकिंग बैंगल्स। अब यहाँ पर ऑथर मुकेश को मिलती है एंड मुकेश टुक द ऑथर टू हिज हाउस। They went through stinking lanes chocked with garbage. Families of bangle makers lived there, and their houses had crumbling walls and wobbly doors. अब राइटर और मुकेश के घर में एंट्री करते हैं। देयर वॉज अ फ्रेल यंग वुमन हु वॉज कुकिंग इवनिंग मील फॉर द फैमिली। हर आईज वर filled with smoke. She greeted the author with a smile. She was the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. She was respected as the daughter-in-law of the family. Mukesh's father also came in. The daughter-in-law covered her face with a veil, as custom demanded. Mukesh's father was old and weak, and he had lost his eyesight with the dust from polishing glass bangles. He had worked hard all his life, but he could not afford to send his two sons to school. He could only teach them the art of making bangles. He had built the house, but could not repair it. This was your summary. Now here's the question answer. What makes the city of फिरोज़ाबाद famous? फिरोज़ाबाद फेमस क्यों है? तो हमने अभी अभी पढ़ा कि फिरोज़ाबाद is famous for its glass bangles. It's the center of India's glass blowing industries, and families have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glass, making bangles for all the women in the land. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. Now second question. Mention the hazards of working in the glass bangles industry कि glass bangles industry में काम करने के क्या नुकसान होते हैं. Working in the glass bangles industry is full of numerous health hazards. ये बहुत सारे health hazards है. The children work in the glass furnaces with high temperature. They work in the dingy cells where there is no light and no air. This spoils their health, eyesight, and other parts of the body. So, students, that's all for today's video. To know more, don't forget to watch the fifth part of the video. Till then, keep shining, keep learning, and goodbye.